Hey everybody, this is SWChris. I'm from SW City, and today I want to talk to you about some of my personal experiences with some of Robin Williams' movies, and I also want to talk a bit about some of my thoughts on a very heavy topic, suicide. Suicide and depression. Mostly depression, but you know, it's a really tough thing, and I just want to start out ahead of time in saying I hope I'm not going to offend anybody, because my intention here is to help. It's not to drumbeat or Bible thump or anything like that. And if this is like the 10th vlog on Robin Williams you've watched, hopefully this gives you some different perspective. I mean, I try to do that. My experience, my first exposure to Robin Williams was Mork and Mindy. It was on at Nick at Night, and I was maybe 5, and seeing him jump around, I saw maybe, I don't know, 15 or 16 episodes. It wasn't that many, and it was on reruns, obviously, but that just appealed to the little kid funny bone that I had in me, and it was just awesome, especially seeing him react to Jonathan Winters. And one of my favorite episodes that I still remember to this day is the one where he and Pam Dauber's character, Mindy, give birth to Jonathan Winters in a giant egg. It was the funniest one I think I'd seen. And I don't remember much. I just remember Jonathan Winters popping out of his egg. As I recall, it took a couple episodes for the egg to actually hatch. So that was kind of funny, to be honest. And then, of course, Aladdin was my next kind of exposure to the man, and it was really kind of cemented him in my my fandom of his comedic work. You know, I hadn't really thought about celebrity deaths as something useful to think about and reflect on until this one. And it's kind of interesting because I guess this one gave me a different perspective on this kind of thing that I'm doing right now, because he was a part of my childhood and a part of my growing up, you know, in kind of an interesting way. Robin Williams was really a comedic constant that it never really occurred to me that he would be going away anytime soon. And it's unfortunate that he has, and that he was apparently really, really suffering. And I don't want to blame him for his decision, because it's one of these things, suicide is one of those things, I'm told, where you're in a burning building and the flames are hot and intense, and it feels like the only way to escape them is to jump out of the window. And so I can understand why somebody might do that. You know, it's kind of interesting when I'm afraid of heights, but one reason I guess I'm afraid of them is when I get really close to the edge of something, there's always a little voice inside of me that says, jump, just once, just jump once, see what it's like to fly. You know, it's a stray thought, and I don't know if it's mine or not, but it happens, and I can see that voice becoming persuasive if I was in a ton of pain and just so depressed that I couldn't see the light. And so this is my way of saying that I had the faintest glimmer of understanding of where he was, and I don't blame him for that. I wish he wouldn't have, but I can't blame him. I'm not in his shoes. And I don't think it was necessarily a selfish thing either. I'm told that people who do commit suicide do so just because of the place they're in. They think that that's the selfless thing to do. And you know, it's really tough. It's a hard subject, and I don't know if I am helping anybody out here. But God forbid that my words encourage anybody to take that action, because that's the last thing I want to do. There's one last story that I want to share with you that his work had, and it impacted me in a very personal way. Good Will Hunting. Robin Williams plays a psychologist, and he's helping this kid out, played by Matt Damon, who is sort of forced against his will into this situation where he has to go in for therapy with Robin Williams' character. And he and Robin Williams get into this huge fight during one of his sessions. And then he kind of changes tack midway through. At least how I remember it. He changes tack midway through and he says, "You know, it's not your fault." And then Matt Damon's character says, "I know." And then he repeats, "It's not your fault." And Matt's character says, "I know." You know, he starts getting angry again. And Robin Williams' character just keeps repeating, "It's not your fault. It's not your fault." And when I was doing my own counseling, I swear to God, I don't think I'd even seen this movie yet. I may have seen it once, but I don't think it had really dawned on me. My counselor did that to me, and aside from, it wasn't me getting angry, it was just me realizing the situation that I was in. The stuff that had happened to me wasn't my fault. And I knew it in my head, but he had to repeat it at least 3 times before it sank in. And with Matt Damon's character, the same thing happened. You know, he said, "I know it's not my fault." He got angry when Robin Williams just kept repeating it. But then he realized, you know, in his heart, that it really wasn't his fault. And if there's anything that I could say to any of you guys who are dealing with depression, having suicidal thoughts, and I know there's 1 or 2 of you who watch my videos who do, because, you know, I've seen some messages and things, and I just want you to know, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. I am always open to talk to you if you need help, but I would encourage you not to stop there and to seek out someone who actually knows what they're doing, because I can help a little bit, but I can't help to the degree that a professional who's experienced with people who suffer from depression, you know, what they can do for you. I just want you to know, it's not your fault, and there is hope.